Welcome into the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today. Jam-packed show for you as always. We are in the middle of the championship week, I guess is the term they call it. One champion will be crowned tonight. That's in the Patriot League, as Navy will take on Colgate. But we got to start with LSU, because there's reports coming out today that there's some problems down at LSU. We're going to go down to the LSU beat with my buddy David Penn. Dave, what's up, brother?
How are you, sir?
I am doing well, man. I know you're working hard down there on the LSU beat. Tell folks where they can find your material before we get started.
DeBootSports.com is the website. DeBootSports1 on Twitter. And then we have a Facebook group page as well, The Boot Sports.
Of course, you are on the LSU beat down there, and big news coming out today about Will Wade and, of course, some stuff with the football program. I mean, there's talk that Will Wade may not coach in the SEC tournament. That's kind of some of the rumors that are out there. Tell us what's going on the basketball front.
So on the basketball front, I mean, I wouldn't say it's new information. It's just it finally came down, right? So this has been in the works for years. And Will Wade's not the only guy. You know, there are other prominent coaches that are wrapped up in this. Bruce Pearl is one at Auburn, and that guy just got a lifetime contract. So the speculation could be that NCAA is coming down to LSU and kind of an attempt to maybe force some pressure on LSU to move on from Will Wade. But I mean, if the pass is any indication of anything, you can expect that LSU is going to respond, and this might go all the way. This is going to last months. I mean, it's already lasted years, right? So LSU is going to respond, and this will probably go all the way down to when they receive their final notice on sanctions and what level violations they're being charged with, and we'll see what happens to Will Wade from there.
Well, LSU has 30 days to respond from today, according to what I've read. So something has to happen within that 30 days, and then we can go from there. But, Will Wade signed or re-signed a contract basically saying if he gets investigated for a level 1 violation, they can fire him with cause, right?
Yes. So from the president of the university, which is Tate, to Scott Woodward, the AD, if the investigation comes out and Will Wade, as you said, is found to have committed level 1 violations, then they can terminate him with cause. And Tate's expectation of Woodward, if that happens, is to execute that contract. So, yes, fire Will Wade.
That's kind of the way that it looks, is that he will have if they're investigated, they can get rid of him. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you're at LSU and you're in the administration, let's put on your AD hat there for a minute, Dave. If you're on the administration up there, and yes, Will Wade has done some good stuff on the basketball court as far as putting out a winner, but if you get an opportunity to step away from him and not have to pay his contract up through 2023, that's a win, right?
I guess it just depends on how you look at it, right? So he's got a winning product on the floor. I mean, the projection this season is a 6 seed so far. And I think that the SEC tournament will have a little bit to do with where they fall as far as maybe going down to 7 or 8. But I think the highest you'll see them is a 6 seed. But I mean, people love a winner, and winning forgives a lot of stuff. Now, having said all that, if it's a level 1 violation, you can expect from the university that they will fire him. But we're talking months. So this is going to drag on for months. I have every expectation that Will Wade is going to coach not only the SEC tournament, but in the actual NCAA tournament.
All right. Now, there's also some stuff with the football program. Not exactly what Coach Kelly wanted to start off his first season. What's going on the football front?
All that just ties back to the Miles investigation, and then the Darius Geis investigation. None of it really. I mean, it could have an impact on the program, as whatever the NCAA comes down with as it relates to those two things, but it's not specifically about Brian Kelly. So in the future, you may have to deal with some ramifications as limiting scholarships or what have you, not being able to do postseason games. It just depends, but I think it's going to pale in comparison to what may happen with basketball.
Right, but in fairness to Coach Kelly, yeah, it's not something that happened under his watch, but he's going to have to pay for the sins of the past.
He's going to pay the price.
He's, and it could be reduction in scholarships. It could be a lack of off-campus visits. I mean, it could be several things. In addition, the NCAA can levy some fines as well. So it's just a snowball right now, and you kind of don't know which way to go with it. But it is going to be interesting to see with LSU on the basketball court, can they overcome what's in front of them with this haze over them? Because is the coach going to be there? And, the transfer portal is always hot. Maybe these guys will play hard through the NCAA tournament, and then they're going to check out. Who knows at this point, right?
I think it just depends on what comes down from the NCAA. Like I said, go back to other guys, Bill Self, Bruce Pearl, those guys are both wrapped up in the same type of investigation with the same type of allegations, and both of those guys have lifetime contracts.
But respectfully, sir, and I'm not trying to do battle with you. You and I are friends, but
sure.
we don't have FBI investigation tapes where he's calling it a blanking blank offer to Devontae. Devontae Smart. We don't have that hardcore soundbite there that's out in the public and is something that you can nail him to the yardarm for that.
Sure. I completely agree. And, you and I have, away from the show, we've talked about things like this, specifically this in the past. You know that I'm not an avid Wade supporter. I'm not a Wade apologist. For me, if something happens, it's just desserts, right? I mean, you get what's coming, you get what you deserve. You try to cheat the game, and there's going to be some apologists now that will say he was just ahead of the game because now we have NIL deals and all that stuff, and now it is thing.
It's not exactly the same thing.
Not the same thing, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, this guy was saying that he gave them cash to come and be his point guard, and he did it with several other players. And I hate to be the guy that says, at least 11 players. And I hate to be the guy to throw this out there, but they've got you on tape saying that you did it. And you know what? I kind of hold the university, if they were truly at a point where, winning is great, but in reality, we care about student athletes, which is maybe something that is gone in the past. They should have fired his ass years ago.
I agree.
So anyway, not to mock the program that you cover, but that's just the way that it looks.
I mean, I'm allowed to be critical, right?
Absolutely. Everybody can be critical.
So I didn't agree with the decision to keep him. And, winning forgives a lot. And fans of the program, they wanted him there. There was a big push to keep him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he was winning. Right. And everybody loves a winner. But at some point, what is your image worth?
Right.
And what does it mean to you? What do you want to project to the people that you're trying to recruit to come in and play for you? Does that matter to you? And I think it should.
My final question for
especially
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But my final question for David Penn, of course, from Debut Sports. Go and follow them at debutsports.com as they cover the LSU program. Great baseball writing. They do all kind of stuff down there. But this is just a general basketball question. When you look across college basketball, John Calipari, every program he's left has had issues as far as probation, etc. Rick Pitino is still coaching, and he's had issues at 3 different programs. Bruce Pearl has had issues everywhere that he has went. Do you think that we're at the point now where it doesn't really matter? You might as well cheat and win because, hey, you can win now and deal with whatever comes down in the future.
I think that history has taught us that nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because if they did, Calipari wouldn't be coaching at one of the biggest basketball schools in the country, Kentucky. Yeah. Bruce Pearl wouldn't be coaching. Rick Pitino wouldn't be coaching. They're talking about moving him on to Maryland, right? From Iona.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And then the stuff with Bill Self at Kansas is insane. I mean, just insane. It in the end, though,
right.
Every March, we're looking at the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds, and you've got Kentucky, Kansas. This year, you've got Auburn. And Rick Pitino's always seems to have a team that's right there in the mix where guys that may not have issues with their programs don't even make the tournament.
Correct. People that do it the right way every time.
It's a mess, sir. It's a mess. Well, there's plenty to unwind here, but the trouble at LSU, it's going to come out over the coming months. We shall see what goes on. And, of course, to keep up with it, go to debootsports.com. David, thanks for joining us on the program, man. We really appreciate it.
I'll leave you with this. It's not a mess, Rob. It's money. And as long as people think they can make money, guess what's going to happen?
Fair enough. Great stuff, buddy. Appreciate you joining the program. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, he's right about that. It is money. Ryan's being funny over on the chat room saying maybe he could be the next coach at Clemson. I mean, tell me about the stuff that's come out at Clemson where the NCAA is sending level 1 violations. I will wait, sir. I'll wait. By the way, the Clemson basketball team plays tonight. They've got Virginia Tech, a team they beat on Saturday. Can they move on in the ACC tournament as they knocked off NC State yesterday? Shout out to the folks that took Clemson -5. They won by 6. You had that whole point there to be comfortable. Imagine that. Big Barney Ross says, how about a ceiling fan with brakes so I don't have to stand there for 10 seconds wondering if it actually turned off? Yeah. Those are real world problems there, Big Barney Ross. You are exactly right about that. 803-978-1832. Ryan's picking at me saying he's giving me a hard time, and it got a reaction. I read the comments from the people that are in the chat room. They are important. So are your calls at 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. Megan says I look like a thumb. Thank you, sir. A big chunky thumb is about where I'm at. And then Big Barney Ross is another great comment. Everyone needs to do it the right way, like Bobby Knight. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to take a quick break and we come back. We'll have more for you on the rundown. Just crazy stuff there with the folks from LSU. Are we going to get an answer on this? And someone mentioned this earlier. Are we going to get anything on Tennessee, or is it just going to be swept under the rug? Yeah, we stuffed McDonald's bags with, money for recruits, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And oh, by the way, pro tip, paying players is not the same thing as NIL. It's not. So for folks saying it's hypocritical, the LSU fan base is hard on that right now. Oh, that's the NIL. What does it matter? It's not the same thing. It's really not. Anyway, quick break. We come back. We'll have more for you. By the way, this show brought to you by Mazda of Columbia, MazdaofColumbia.com. Go and see my friend Greg Hood. Get yourself a new car. The all-new CX-50 is what you need right now. Mazda of Columbia, MazdaofColumbia.com. Begging Megan, I'm of the opinion that everyone is cheating at something. So let's not get bullheaded here. You know what? I don't think your basketball team's cheating. I'll give you that, Begging Megan. Your basketball team is not cheating. They're not cheating at all. Jay calls me McRib. Didn't Louisville played last night and they won, right? Boy, we got a humdinger right now. Boston College and Wake Forest with the Eagles winning by 1 point in the first quarter. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Oh, okay, so I didn't mock you too much. I think there's some stuff that goes on with everyone, with the exception of the Georgia basketball program. All the bag money goes to the football program. Maybe the baseball program gets some, I don't think they get 1 red cent for basketball. In fact, I bet they charge the basketball players to play there. If you come here, you got to give us money. That's what happens with the Georgia Bulldogs. Y'all have to take it on the chin for basketball season because your basketball team is terrible. Who is this kid playing for Wake Forest? It looks like Where's Waldo with a mullet. What is that? Looking at that up here, so I don't know. Aaron with the comment of the day. Everyone cheats, and the only ones that get punished are the ones who are stupid enough to get caught. Yeah, and then make comments on their phone. You know, if you are cheating, you need to have like a you need to be like what was it, Paulie from Goodfellas, where he didn't talk on the phone ever. That's basically what it boils down to. If you're going to cheat, you should go that route. Yep. What a mess. By the way, Earl Grant for Boston College was on my was on the Spartanburg Methodist basketball team, and I lived on that hall my first year of college when I went to junior college. He was right down the hall from me. He used to smoke the good stuff. Let's just leave it at that. He was a starting point guard, though. He's pretty good. Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400, 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown. Here's something you can learn today. I think we have a consensus among myself and the folks in the chat room. Normally we argue back and forth, but I think it's safe to say that Georgia does not cheat in basketball. They just don't. All the bag man, their money goes to the football team. Now, some people are going to get upset and say, you have no proof that the Georgia blah, blah, blah. Everybody cheats. I think it's behind the scenes, and maybe coaches don't know about it. And see, there's going to be people like, you come to our show, we try to be honest with you here. There's going to be people that are going to do other radio shows that are like, you have no proof of them cheating, Rob. You shouldn't say that. Look, I don't need proof. I can just tell you I assume things. It's my opinion. In my opinion, everyone cheats, with the exception of the Georgia basketball program, because they are terrible. In fact, I said it during the break. I think they pay to play on that team. I think their parents send them like booster money. So yeah, this is their fees to play on the Georgia basketball program. That's how bad Georgia is on the basketball front. 803-978-1832. B-Bean says, I've never cheated at anything. I mean, I think we all cheated on a test or something at some point. I mean, I try not to cheat. But, you know, if I'm coaching a basketball team and winning is the most important thing, I'm going to do the best I can to cheat, to win. I think that's everybody. You're judged on how you take care of your family by how well that basketball program does. Getting to the NCAA tournament is important. By the way, earlier today in the ACC, number 9 Syracuse beat the snot out of Florida State 96-57. 37-point win for Jim Boeheim in the orange. Megan is correct. Rob cheats on his diet. Exactly. I got to bring up stuff that's hurtful there, Megan. You were supposed to send me an ashtray from that monastery you work in when the Bulldogs won the national title in football. But instead, all I've heard from you is calling up here defending Jimbo Fisher like you've got a Jimbo Fisher poster in your office, or maybe it's in your bathroom. I don't know. Oh, Jimbo, we love you so much. You do so much for the SEC. Those 8-4 seasons are needed to validate our programs that really don't play anybody out of conference. So we have to talk about how powerful the SEC is, and you keep winning those 8 games a year. Don't beat LSU, Mississippi State, or Alabama every season. No. Don't do that. Load up with, the Texas Beauty School and whoever else you can get to win 8 games so we can call you a power to validate our conference. Those are the thoughts of Megan right there. Jacob with screw Jimbo Fisher. Yes. Ryan says Frank Martin doesn't cheat enough. I don't know if Coach Martin cheats. I'm just saying behind the scenes, I'm sure things happen. $100 handshakes. Who knows? Big Barney Ross says, I would double down on Bruce Pearl cheating his way through college. Yeah, Bruce Pearl obviously has a degree in something. I wonder what Bruce Pearl's major was in college. Let's see if I can find that. When we go to break here in a moment, I'll see if I can find that. I bet Bruce Pearl, let's see if we can figure out what Bruce Pearl's major was in college. Let's see here. Does it tell me anything? He went to Boston College. We see that. And early life and family. A Jewish native of Boston, attended Sharon High School. He served as the manager of the men's basketball team. I don't see what I don't see where it is. I don't see what his major was in college. Anyway, we'll have to find that during the break. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is a number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. We've got the SEC tournament starting today. ACC tournament is fully underway. We do have one champion that will be crowned tonight. If you're one of those folks that likes to watch, I guess they're called mid-major teams. Like last night, if you were watching South Dakota and North Dakota State, and you were thinking, man, the population of these two states combined are less than the population of Lexington, which is right down the road here, then you're my kind of hoops fan. They're going to get someone from the Summit League is going to the NCAA tournament. If you're one of those folks that's like that, tonight your only opportunity to see a ticket punch is when Navy takes on Colgate. So there you go. In the Patriot League. Okay, terrific. Okay, terrific. David with the help online says he has a BA in business administration from Boston College. Yeah, he's a businessman, all right. So there you go with that. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400, of course, around the world on the iHeart Radio app. As we roll along here, by the way, today is a special day. And I'll tell you why. If you're a fan of the NFL draft, friend of the program, Levon Kirkland, has posted his first draft evaluation. He did it for Andrew Booth from Clemson, who's a projected first-round pick. And he gives you his strengths and weaknesses. Where can you find that? It's simple. Go to the blog page, foxsportsradio1400.com. It's not very often you can get a guy that has the resume that Levon Kirkland has. He's in the Clemson Ring of Honor. He's on the all-decade team from the 90s. AP All-Pro, 4 or 5 different Pro Bowls. Played in the Super Bowl. Coached at Florida A&M. Also coached at the Arizona Cardinals. So he's actually been to the Combine as a player, went to the Combine as a coach, and coached some guys that probably ended up doing something as far as being scouted by the NFL folks. So he kind of gets it. And get his thoughts on the young projected shutdown corner for the Clemson Tigers, who is now probably going to end up playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you agree with what Levon Kirkland says, go and check that out. It's on the blog page at foxsportsradio1400.com. All right, so when we come back, we'll give you a scoreboard update as we go around the country. Right now, at the half, Boston College leads Wake Forest, the 13 over the 5 seed in Brooklyn, 30-29. Clemson will play tonight as they will match up with Virginia Tech. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to call if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown. David says, Will Wade also has a BA in business administration from the streets. He makes strong offers. Good point. I don't know. The first round and second round games are all just kind of sad when you look at the some of the stuff that's going on, man. Just sad. Sad. It's like none of these games you really want to watch. The great games, some of them will be tomorrow. Tomorrow's kind of moving day. Who's moving where? Who's going in? Who's going out? This Wake Forest game is a big deal because they're projected as one of the last 4 in by Joe Lunardi. We got to look at the the stuff from Bracket Matrix. Tommy from Bracket Matrix joined us yesterday. We'll see where Wake Forest is. I'll check that during the break. But they're sweating a little bit if they lose to Boston College. They need this if they want to make the tournament. B Bean says, would you accept Aaron Rodgers' deal? Yeah, $50 million a year. Absolutely. I'll throw the ball around. You serious? Do they want me out there? I mean, I'm too short to see over the linemen. I'll probably go out there and they'll be like, what's the water boy doing on the field? I'd take the deal, though. Why not? More of the rundown when we come back. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. Those 4-game parlays are tough. You're killing me, Big Barney Ross. You're killing me. I think, by the way, there are two teams that don't care about winning in the NFL. One is the Giants going after Mitch Trubisky. I call him Mitch Trubisky because he is a bitch. Yeah, I stand by that. And the other is Carson Wentz, who's been a two-time failure. Yeah. Where was he at first? Now he's going to go to the Washington Commanders. And by the way, they took his $28 million contract. We're going to eat all of that. They must be happy with that. They don't care about winning. They really don't. They really, really don't. Yeah, that's a great line there, Big Barney Ross. Welcome back to the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. We'll give you some scores and then we'll talk about the couple of supposed quarterback moves in the NFL. We'll start. These are games in progress in the Mountain West first round. Nevada leads New Mexico 53-46. About 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Someone's interrupted my my scoreboard update. We'll go to the phones. Welcome to the rundown. Good afternoon.
How's it going? Bluegrass Sports Media here.
Hey, what's up? Are you upset that I said John Calipari cheated, or you have something viable for the program?
No, I've told you before, we get the best players money you could buy, but we just do it the best. Okay, so
you have the best bagmen, is what you're telling me.
We do, and bagmen are legal now, so look out.
What do you have for the show today?
You know, we did it again, and I got into an argument with a bunch of people in the comments about this time last year. Kentucky had 6 players drafted last year in the NFL draft. That's, I think, second most in the SEC. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's developing talent way is what Kentucky does. And this year, 7 players in the combine. Kentucky is the best Kentucky is the best at developing talent in the SEC, and there's no debate about it.
I don't understand how you could possibly say that when there are other programs that put guys in the NFL and they develop them. Just because you're a 4 or 5-star player doesn't mean that you're coming to college and you're going to make it directly to the NFL. I mean, you have to be developed at every level. So to say that is kind of open-ended.
It's not open-ended because the difference is that, you know, Georgia and Alabama, they get products that are closer to the finish line than Kentucky does.
Judge by who, sir? Because just because you have a 5-star next to your name doesn't mean that you're going to go to the NFL. Not all 5-star players go to the NFL.
A high percentage of them do.
It's not 100% thing. If you're a 5-star player, you're going to the NFL.
What is not 100%?
But you have to be developed, and you're telling me that basically they're not getting developed as well at Alabama and at LSU, etc. Look, if you want to make the argument that Kentucky takes players that other programs missed on and develops them into NFL players, I could buy that. But to say they're the best at putting players in the NFL is kind of silly.
No, you misunderstood what I say.
What did you say?
I'm saying Kentucky is the best at developing and cultivating talent. What that means is Alabama, Georgia, and lately Texas A&M, most of the 5-stars in the country. Kentucky's taken these 3 and some 4 stars and turning them into NFL players. We've put 13 players in the NFL in the past 2. Well, we put 13 players in the combine. The 22 NFL draft hasn't happened in the past 2 years, but I'm saying Kentucky is the best at developing talent of the talent they got. I mean, it's easy. I'm not going to say it's easy to develop talent at 5-star, but you're getting a much more high ceiling type player as a 5-star. Kentucky's getting 3 stars and developing them into 1st-round picks.
Okay. I mean, I've told you how I feel about that, and I don't want to argue on a Wednesday afternoon. I think that you are stringing together numbers to make your own narrative. I think that across the board, you have to have good development. I mean, young men develop more from being an 18-year-old until the time they're 21 or 22. I just don't get where you're coming from with that. I mean, they need to be developed everywhere, not just on the field, but off the field as well. So to say Kentucky does it better than a lot of other teams is, it's a matter of opinion, sir.
Well, everything's a matter of opinion, though, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's your whole vanilla ice cream.
My vanilla ice cream theory. Yeah. Look, that's the opinion that you have. I don't have to agree with you. I mean, I can pull up numbers that show that what you're saying is far-fetched. So, yeah. Anyway, anything else you got for the program? Do you want to talk about Cheetah Party?
Cheetah Party. Well, I would just like to say that Kentucky is only doing what all other major basketball programs do. I mean, it's not been and you're going to say it's not been proven that anyone's ever cheated and Calipari's got a pass, but it's not been proven that Calipari's cheated at Kentucky. It's just an assumption, right? And I'm
okay, yeah. And look, and I will give you that, but I can give you facts that every program that he's coached at, he has left, and they've had to deal with things from his past where he's put them on probation. Those are facts. Do you think that old dogs learned new tricks when he got to Kentucky, where the pressure is so much higher?
You know, people change. You know, people change sometimes.
All right, fair enough. Hey, I appreciate you calling the program. I enjoy people who have a different opinion than I do, and you have a great day, sir.
You too.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. I don't know where he was going with that, but there you go. Justin asks, what's the point spread tonight for the Georgia matchup, which we've determined Georgia's the only team in the SEC that doesn't do some cheating of some sort against Vanderbilt. They are 6-25 on the season. Wrap your head around that for a minute. Vanderbilt is a 9-point favorite. The Commodores are 15-15 overall. The other matchup, Ole Miss and Mizzou. Mizzou is a 4-point favorite in that matchup. Two teams that are both with losing records. Mizzou's at 11-20 on the season. So there's that. All right, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Some more scores here. Boston College and Wake Forest, 18 minutes to go in the second quarter. Boston College has a 2-point lead over the 5th seed Wake Forest at the ACC tournament. up in Brooklyn. Now, that's something else, too. Why are they having the ACC tournament in Brooklyn? That's annoying as all get out. All right, some scores right now. In the Mountain West, Nevada leads New Mexico 58-54 in a first-round matchup out for the Mountain West. Big Sky Championship first-round game, Portland State leads Idaho State 50-38. Arizona State and Stanford, the Sun Devils, have a 3-point lead, about 3 minutes to go in the first half over the Cardinal. Texas Southern and Jackson State, they're playing in the SWAC tournament. Jackson State has a 3-point lead, about 3 minutes to go in the first. Duquesne has a 10-6 lead over Rhode Island, about 15 minutes to go in the first quarter there. Some finals from earlier today. Sacramento State won over Idaho to advance in the Big Sky tournament 57-54. Syracuse beat Florida State senseless. I know that Leonard Hamilton, who is an underrated coach in my opinion, I know that is a long ride home with Coach Hamilton as Syracuse knocks them around 96-57. So you get Syracuse versus Duke tomorrow in the ACC tournament. Boeheim versus Coach K. Bump, bump, bump. We'll see how that works out. LaSalle wins over St. Joe's 63-56 in the A-10 championship first round matchup. Other games coming up today: Air Force and Utah State in the Mountain West, Butler and Xavier in the Big East, Northern Arizona and Eastern Washington. That game is a Big Sky game there. From the Pac-12, Oregon State and Oregon. I mentioned the SEC matchups. Incarnate Word and Houston Baptist in the Southland tournament. That's a first-round matchup at 6 o'clock tonight. Delaware State and Norfolk State. That's in the MEAC. Delaware State has won 2 games this season. They draw Norfolk State, who is a 16-point favorite. Rice and Charlotte in the Conference USA second-round game. That's at 6:30. Clemson, by the way, is playing Virginia Tech tonight. The Tigers are a 5-point dog to the Hokies in that game. Will the Brad Brownell season end? They are 17-15, hoping to keep that hot streak alive as they've won 5 straight in the ACC. Mentioned Georgia and Vanderbilt. Minnesota and Penn State tonight. Old Dominion and UTEP. Southern Miss and FAU. What was the Patriot League game? Oh, yeah, Navy and Colgate. Colgate is a 7-point favorite over Navy. Got to root for the Service Academy. Give me Navy +7. More of the rundown when we come back. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. Bluegrass Sports Media, he just wants his team to be valid. Kind of hard to stay mad at him. But his team sucks, and he just wants them to be valid. That's funny, Justin. Poor Earl Grant. He left the College of Charleston, had a really good team there, and now he's got a team that he's got to rebuild. They're 12-19 on the season. They are not very good. Good point, Dakota. Everyone loves Carolina Jackpot. Jackpot and I are doing a show tonight. 9:30, same bad time, same bad channel. I love you too, Jesus. Who doesn't love Jesus? Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeart Radio app. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today as we roll along through championship week. Taking your calls at 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Of course, around the world on the iHeart Radio app. Lots of stuff to look forward to tonight in championship week. Of course, Clemson, a 5-point dog to Virginia Tech. Can the Tigers keep their season alive? As they got to win that game to even remotely have hope of possibly making even the NIT at this point. I don't think 17 and 16 get you in the NIT. Just saying. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Big Barney Ross makes a controversial statement here, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. He says, Bruce is the captain of the Black Pearl. Take what you can, give nothing back. The pirate of the SEC. Sir, the pirate of the SEC is at Mississippi State. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to break that to you, Big Barney Ross, but the pirate is at Mississippi State. You got to call him something else. I don't know. But that's, you can't already, you can't steal the name from the pirate. That's not going to work. Justin says he's got a good feeling that Alabama might win it all in the SEC tournament. I still find it hard to believe it will happen. You know what? You know what could happen to Alabama? And this is just being as real as I can be here with you Alabama fans. Send your hate tweets to @RobSoundsGood on Twitter. Appreciate the folks that follow me there. Look, here's the big thing with Alabama. They could roll through the SEC tournament. They really could. They could beat Kentucky. They could beat Auburn. They could beat everyone and look like champions and then go in the first round and draw an Iona or draw a UT Chattanooga or draw a Murray State, home of Popeye Jones and Ja Morant, and lose in the first round. And we'll forget that they won the SEC tournament. And all the talk will be about how Alabama blew it. And then they'll come in at the beginning of next season, right at the end of football season. Maybe Nick Saban will be at the game. Who knows? And they'll hang that SEC championship banner. And they'll talk about, man, what a run we had in the SEC tournament. And then someone will say, hey, you lost to Murray State. And that guy will be taken behind the barn and popped in the mouth. Anyway, that's kind of the way it goes. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Alabama has potential for upset on them whenever they go out there because they can turn the ball over a lot, and if the three's not falling, they could get knocked out. Teams that don't are teams like Arkansas, who pressure you to death. Teams like Kentucky, who's got, of course, as Bluegrass Sports Media said, the best team that money can buy. They've got the talent. They can win like that. Be interesting to see what Nate Oates can do if he gets a lot more guys coming to that program. We shall see. 803-978-1832. Another great comment from Big Barney Ross, who feels like he's running the show today. How much money does it take to buy an NCAA basketball championship? Jimbo Fisher has told us how much it is to win a football title. What, did he tell you how much it takes to win at Florida State? I mean, you just need a guy who steals crab legs and you're good to go. What a mess. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Couple of NFL moves. Apparently, someone's going to give Carson Wentz another spin. He's being traded to the Washington Commanders. Now, here's the interesting part about that. They've agreed to take on his $28 million contract. The Philadelphia Eagles were like, wait, you're going to do what? You're going to take all of his. And then they were like, hold on a minute. And they put the phone down. And it's like, look, if they're stupid enough to take on that $28 million contract, ask for a third and a fourth round pick. I bet they give it to us. And then they gave it to them. Washington doesn't care about football. That's what I've learned today. Also, Mitch Trubisky going allegedly to possibly go to the Giants. I think they're going to give Daniel Jones another shot. And let's be honest, Daniel Jones is a guy that has been beaten senseless up there. They need the Giants, if they want to start, I know you need a quarterback, but maybe you should get a guy. That's right, Bluegrass. It's from Indianapolis. Well, he was at Philly and then went to Indy. The Indianapolis Colts are laughing hysterically as I've got my teams mixed up today. But hey, it's great for them. That's kind of how that works. But the reality comes back to this, though. Mitch Trubisky going to be a backup. Daniel Jones, they need to figure out, hey, let's just draft a left tackle. Let's try that. Deshaun Watson still out there in basically purgatory until they can figure out if he's going to be charged. We should know about that by April the 5th, I think is the date on it. There are teams that are already in the mix, including the Seattle Seahawks, who just let Russell Wilson go. If you're a Seahawks fan and you're like, wait a minute, I can get Deshaun Watson. We just let Russell Wilson go. We can get 27-year-old Deshaun Watson, who is a pretty good quarterback. We may have to deal with some things, but hey, he's a pretty good quarterback. And we got 2 first-round picks from Denver, 2 second-round picks, a guy who had 6 sacks last season, and a guy that could be a backup. Yeah. In Drew Lock. That might end up being pretty good if they can make those wheels turn. I think Deshaun Watson would love to go play for Pete Carroll. Why wouldn't you? Dakota says, I think Daniel Jones is a decent quarterback. He just needs a line. You're right about that. Justin says, Rob, do you think Alabama won't get past the first round of the NCAA tournament? No, I don't think that. I think they could roll through to the Sweet 16. They're a team with so many big questions. As far as if they don't turn the ball over and they can knock down their threes, they can knock out anybody. I think they can make it out of the first round. I said that I wouldn't be shocked if they rolled through the SEC tournament and got us all picking our brackets next Monday. And we're looking at Alabama as the SEC champion. Man, they went through a conference where they had to deal with Auburn and potentially Tennessee and all these other great teams. And what happened? They ended up winning. And then they lose because we all buy into something where they don't hit their threes. They could be in trouble. Show Mimo says, hey, Mizzou is in the SEC all except for wrestling. Mizzou, first year back in the Big 12, won the Big 12 tournament, sending a bunch to Detroit for the Nationals. Congratulations to Mizzou for winning a conference championship without being in the SEC. Side note, I hear the Mizzou gymnastics team is really good too. Anyway, they should have wrestling in the SEC, by the way. Why is that not happening? I think in women's soccer, they're not in the SEC. I can't remember. What a mess. Justin says he hopes I'm right about Alabama making the Sweet 16. I think all Alabama fans are like that. Just saying, don't be surprised. Either way. All right, don't forget, Lawton Swan of Clemson Sports Talk is next. He is the czar of Clemson Sports. Follow him on Twitter at Clemson Sports. He's always got good information. And if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you can listen anywhere on the planet to his fine program. You can also check out the podcast, all kinds of good stuff with the Clemson Sports Talk program. By the way, yes. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't play it. Yes. We love the Swan, even though he broadcasts from his house where he listens to show tunes while he gives you fine Clemson Sports Talk programming. I haven't seen Swanee in like a year. Never see him. I'll see him at ACC kickoff. That's about it. He'll leave the house for that. Somebody's got to take care of the alligators and the moat and everything else at Castle Day Swan. Anyway, I'm on Twitter at Rob Sounds Good. Interact with me there. More of the rundown tomorrow. Quick update. Boston College has a 2-point lead over Wake Forest. About 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. More of the rundown tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio 1400. You guys are awesome over there. It is wrestling in the South. That's right. I'm proud of being from the South. I don't, you want to come at me and mock me about being from the South? Don't you get too mouthy. We Southerners take that stuff seriously. There, Show Me Mo. Anyway, appreciate you guys. New Rob and Kale show tonight. We'll talk to you later on.